Like that's not a joke. That is what happened.
Yeah, I know. I'm not counting any of that. I'm counting
As
the
evidenced
stuff on
by the
my
fact
sheet.
he aged 20 years.
Is there a place? Are we in Dunfoss right now? Is that
You're wherever you
is
want
there
to
a
be.
place? Can we go somewhere where we can get this stuff identified? Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
Khalil needs new armor. That's going to be another thing.
Super
Yeah,
easy. All you gotta
too.
do is buy Eldove some pearls. He can identify it himself.
Okay. Let's buy Eldove. Is that so? That's gonna be the most efficient way to do it.
Right, the captain probably already brought me some pearls.
Yeah.
He
so
went on
let's-
his crazy teleportation adventures.
So whoever
Let's, like-
whoever bought the pearls, go ahead and subtract those. Give those to Eldove.
Yeah. Let's identify some stuff. Split up the stuff since it sounds like we may be splitting up for a little bit.
All right, well, give me a minute to do all the math then. Are we still? Let me think. Is Tarin still? I think for the overland adventures, Tarin's just gonna split the loot evenly.
Okay.
We actually, everyone has different amounts of shares on the ship because that's the way the ship works. But
Okay.
so give me a minute to do all of them. How much can I sell the Jade Circlet for
The Jade Circlet.
from the tower?
I think I had a gold piece value for that. Let me see if I can find it.
I guess I should bring up the old party loot. I haven't looked at it in forever.
And I'll go ahead and buy some pearls. Let's buy 5 pearls.
No, that's not going to do it.
Well, we should probably have some in reserve too, because
Yeah, but 5
have
is not.
we have
Yeah.
the cash. We might as well.
Jade Circlet
Get
is worth 1,500 gold.
Okay.
So Eldove,
Hold on.
how many pearls do you buy for Eldove? Like just.
I brought him 5 when I
Brought him
first
5?
showed up.
Okay. So what magic items do you have that you want to identify, Eldove?
Eldove does not know what if this is magical because Tarin wasn't here.
Oh. We'll just start going down the list, and I'll just answer the questions.
There's the shield is the only thing Tarin knows about.
Yeah, Khalil's shield.
Eldove, you identify the shield. Do you want to describe the shield? Because I know if I try to do it, it won't be good enough.
Okay, a beautiful glittering. This is your description. A beautiful glittering, pristine silver shield with a white gold griffin emblazoned on it.
That's the shield, yes. And you identify it. And this shield,
How do I not have that on
you
my
get a
list?
vision of a knight going into battle wielding this shield, and the rest of his armor is similarly emblazoned with this image of this griffin. And he's facing off against a hill giant, 3 times his size, and the hill giant is wielding a club. I mean, you know hill giants, you've been there.
Yeah.
The club is as heavy as this man must be in his full armor. This giant rears back and brings his club down with a force that shocks you watching the vision. Like, you feel the force of this club swinging through the air, and he holds his shield up, and it's not a large shield. He's holding it in his hand. It's not like a kite shield. It's not like a heavy shield. And he just absorbs the blow of this club through the shield, and he doesn't even falter. What he's holding is an adamantine shield. The bearer of this shield going into combat, I want to make sure I get this right, because I don't want to say something that's too powerful. Let me look it up.
The bearer of the shield going into combat can fly and cast magic missile out of his eyes as a bonus action.
That's true. No. While you're wielding this shield, anything that attacks you with a critical hit becomes a normal hit. You cannot be critted.
Okay, so immune. So
That's kind of an amazing
it's-
shield.
That's fortification.
Hey, what's next?
Okay.
basically, it stops critical hits from weapon damage, or
All critical hits, including spell damage. It just says critical hits, so I'm going to apply that to everything that can crit.
Alright, so some of this stuff is mundane, but
Okay.
I'm gonna read it all
Sure.
just to find out. Broken and empty metal flask.
Is just a flask.
3 wax candles with runes inscribed on them.
You cast Identify on the candles, and you see a vision of a woman, clearly a wizard, and she's sitting in a very, very bright room, and around her eyes she's wearing a blindfold. She reaches behind her head and unties it, and when she drops the blindfold away from your face, you see her eyes have been wounded somehow. They've been you don't like see like hollow husks where her eyes were, but her eyelids are closed. But that entire area of face, she suffered egregious injury. She's obviously blind. But the room is very bright. You don't see where the source of light is coming from, and you see that the light is causing her some discomfort. And she sits down at a work table in the center of this room, in which is, you see the 3 candles with the runes. And using a magical cantrip, she summons flame to her hand and lights each of the candles, and as she does, they begin glowing with a black flame. And instead of giving off light, they give off darkness. And then she begins working on her translation or her whatever. So these candles, each one will burn for 8 hours, and you can snuff them as a regular candle, but instead of giving off light, they give off darkness.
I want
that's
one
bullshit.
of them. No, I want one of them. That sounds like fun for a thief.
No, it's fine. It's just I don't think anyone's going to disagree that they're bullshit.
Well, I'm sorry if you don't like my magic items. I'll take them
I
and
didn't
go
say
home.
I didn't like your magic items. I said they were bullshit. Which I am a noted fan of.
Wait, on the same preposterous scale, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Like
Candles that give off darkness, that's at least a 6.
Okay.
So they'll burn for up to 8 hours? Can I have one? Seriously, can I have one of those?
Each one will
Yeah.
burn for 8 hours. You don't have to
How
burn the
many
whole
do
8
we have?
hours all at once. You have 3.
Alright, I'm gonna take one of them. For now.
So,
I don't-
okay, if you guys want to put this on a sheet, you get 737 gold pieces from the Overland Adventures. Each.
700 and how many?
37.
Okay.
And Fred gets 300.
Fred gets 300.
Sorry, say that again?
Fred wasn't there.
He was there for the tower.
737 gold pieces?
737 gold pieces, and then once we sell the liquid assets, and then Fred shares 300.
And Fred's going to drink it away.
Oh, I know.
That's fine. And
Okay.
if he does,
Does anyone care if I take this oil of etherealness that's sitting in our party loot?
not.
It's yours, man.
No.
Yeah, you're the one who's for some reason just decided. You know what? Despite the fact that all these terrible things have happened every time I've gone to the ethereal plane, that's fine.
I'm going
Just
to keep
go.
going there.
You idiot.
What's next, Eldove?
Okay, next is a black dagger with crossguard resembling a cloak.
That shit's cursed.
It's not
gotta be
magic.
Cursed.
Not magic?
Not magic.
What kind of
Is it-
dagger? What kind of dagger is it?
It's a metal dagger. You're not sure what kind of metal, but it's black with a very ornate crossguard. It looks more ornamental than practical.
But no pluses. It's effectively a regular dagger.
Yep. It's not magical.
We're gonna put that in the fucking bag and find out what the hell is up with that. Pair of dice with elven numbers in a fine wooden cup.
Very nice pair of wooden dice, but they're not magical. Neither is the cup.
Alright, Eldove takes them. Ring with an incredibly lifelike eye.
Oh, this ought to be good.
This is magical, and you get a vision when you identify it of a group of soldiers, human soldiers, about to go down into what looks like a very dark cave, an opening in the side of a mountain, and one of them goes to light a hooded lantern, and then one of his compatriots stops him and shakes his head, and instead he pulls a ring out of his pocket and he puts it on, and he takes point going into the cave. And while his companions would be blinded in total darkness, this man leads them straight and true to their goal at the end of the cave. This is a ring of all-seeing, and it's a very powerful ring. It has 3 different functions. The bearer of this ring, who is attuned to it, has 3 different command words, which you learned through the course of identifying it. The first command word, all 3 of these last for 1 hour or until the wearer turns it off. The first command word gives them advantage on all sight-based perception checks. The second grants dark vision out to 120 feet. The third allows
okay.
you to see invisible creatures and objects. The ring has 3 charges and regains all 3 on a long rest.
Wait, one second. Would see all invisible creatures
See all
and objects?
all invisible creatures and objects.
And there's 3 charges?
There's 3 charges, and it recharges all 3 at long rests. So you can use it 3 times every day.
Alright. Next.
Does that require attunement?
Yes.
Yes. Does the shield require attunement?
No. Okay, what's next?
Fricker, I didn't hear if you answered my question.
The shield does not require attunement.
Does not? Okay, thank you.
A roll of dwarven tobacco?
Fine tobacco, but not magical.
Venison jerky.
Definitely not magical.
Bottles of flat ale with wax.
No, just flat, not pleasant to drink.
Polished stones.
Are polished stones, not magical.
A plain iron comb.
Is a plain iron comb.
Brown feathers.
Just feathers.
Alright, that's it.
That's it.
Alright. I got a sweet candle out of it.
I believe we decided it was a bullshit candle.
It's sweet and bullshit.
You added that to your sheet? I can remove it from party loot?
I took one of the candles, yes.
The eye would be neat for Khalil, but that's not really, I already got
I was thinking
shield,
Zook would take it.
Well, what was the 3? I'm sorry. What was the 3 things I heard, that it does? It lets you see pass vision checks.
Yeah.
Advantage on
vision.
sight-based perception.
Mm-hmm.
Dark vision. See invisible creatures.
I mean, it's probably really good for a human since, they don't
I was
have
gonna say because
night vision.
I have night vision and I have pretty decent
perception
now. I have +6 on my perception and I can't roll less than a 10. So
The reason I was saying give it to thing is because the dark vision doesn't seem like that big of a deal, and it's going to use up a charge.
I mean, the thing is, with 3 charges, you can have dark vision the entire time you're awake.
Yeah.
No,
Well, no,
each one
you
lasts
couldn't.
1 hour or until you dismiss.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was 8 hours. Okay, sorry.
No, it's
No,
1
each
hour.
one lasts 1 hour.
Oh, okay.
But that's
So,
cool.
I mean, if Zook doesn't want it, yeah, anyone who wants it, take it.
it's not that I don't want it. I just didn't. I thought that it would be more useful for a human.
Yeah, Tarin doesn't need it.
I'll take it then.
All right, I'm removing from the party loot. Do you have all the information on it?
Yeah, I'm copying it down now.
Okay.
Give
Not
me
a bad
1
haul.
second to copy it down.
All
What is the
things
rest of that
considered.
shit worth? Garbage?
Well, it was well-loved equipment and trinkets at one point. But yeah, if that's
So-
your
so
definition of
garbage,
garbage, then throw it away.
Yep. Garbage.
Alright, do we have like a garbage section on the party loot sheet that we're just putting all that in?
We
So-
do now.
Everybody
Yeah,
except
you can take the ring.
Zook and Orphan are going to travel out to the site. Does Arik stay in service on board the ship?
I have been struggling this whole time to come up with a reason why he wouldn't.
I mean, that's what he was hired to do. And then he
Yeah.
immediately stopped serving on the ship and started
Yeah.
adventuring with these guys. So,
Yeah.
what do you
I
want
think
to
he's
do?
got to go on. I think he would rather go on the ship.
Okay.
And I want you to know just how much that pains me inside.
Let me ask.
Just how much that pains me.
Let me ask you a character question. Since
Okay.
they're going to go and establish a civilization out here, how much would you think that it would be your job to establish a church as part of it?
You leave, we're not establishing a Church of Osprey.
Not to mention heal people, because there's liable to be some dangers out there.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. That's all it took.
And it's too bad because in her travels, Orphan found a man wearing a brown trench coat sitting at a bar drinking his life away saying, "I have this great idea for a device that can move people up and down floors, but nobody wants to take a chance on me." And Orphan just says, "Yeah, you're fucking crazy," and walks away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, is this another Suikoden reference
Yes,
that I
it
don't
was.
get?
Yeah, Bricker,
Yes, it
how
is.
good is he in combat?
Nerds.
No, he sucks at combat.
Yep.
I mean,
I know.
Orphan takes him out and pays a blacksmith to sharpen his wrench, and it becomes the sharpest wrench in the world, and it still sucks.
If you guys order Arik to go, no, you should. We order you to stay and help develop this land. He'll totally do that because that's one of his things. Is that he'll follow orders even if they think they're wrong. Huh? Huh?
Okay.
I
Now,
thought you were going to stay because you're going to establish a church.
the next
Yeah,
question then.
pretty good.
Orphan is traveling, Zook is traveling, everybody else is going to the site, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nich's plan is to go to the site eventually.
And it's wilderness. I mean, you have lots of forests, you have nice fertile ground. It's not cold right now because it's coming on to the end of summer, but...
There's one thing actually before we go.
Okay.
I'm going to leave Cube on the ship.
I was gonna ask, does Cube and or Fred come with you?
Fred...
Or really wanting on the show?
Or any soldiers, for that matter.
Okay, well, do you ask their opinion, or do you just tell them what they're doing?
I'll ask Cube if he wants to. I mean, I'll ask Orphan, I guess, really, more than Cube.
Orphan. Cube... Basically, he would need a place on the ship to study. He has taken a level in Wizard. He is learning magic. Whether or not that magic will be useful to you in your pirating adventures is yet to be known. But, I mean, he is very industrious. He follows orders like to the letter of the law. He is great at organizing things. He doesn't
We still
get...
have an alchemy lab, don't we?
You do.
Yeah,
you don't have
you
an
can study
alchemist
in
to run
there.
it. And Cube
Good.
doesn't
He
know
would
anything about alchemy, but he could learn.
Oh, I bet he would be great at alchemy.
I was gonna say, forget wizarding, put an alchemy book in his hand.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, come on. You guys are going to take Eldove's first wizard that he doesn't hate away from him?
I'm sure he can manage
I mean,
both.
Cube is very dead set on carrying on his master's work, which means a lifetime study of magic. So he's going to be doing wizarding, but alchemy fits into that. So
I was about to say, like, there was a whole lot of alchemical shit in that fucking tower.
there was.
Yeah, that seems like that would be.
So-
I think that would be perfect for him. I think let him be an alchemist wizard down there.
Okay.
Okay, my connection's back.
How much did you just miss?
A lot. Like 5 minutes.
Okay, so we were discussing Cube and whether or not you would want to keep him on the ship to study wizarding and maybe alchemy.
Does he have anyone to learn wizardry from? Can he do that?
He's got his former master's
He has
book.
the spell book of the 20th level wizard he served in that tower. Eldove gave him the book.
If he has all he needs to learn, then I'm fine keeping him on the ship.
Okay. And
But I won't be involving him in combat.
you probably would need to find a trainer to give him at least the basics of alchemy. You probably have to hire somebody in one of the large cities, maybe for a couple weeks of training, to learn the basics of herbalism and identifying different things and mixing them together and whatnot. But once he gets it down, like this, he takes to the science of it very quickly. So you have, remember when I wrote up all those rules for what you have at your disposal as far as the alchemy lab goes?
Yeah.
And then immediately became...
Right.
that immediately became moot because Banana whisked your alchemist away. You have access to that again.
Do we have our bananas back?
Oh yeah.
I have a banana. That's all that matters.
I think I
I
would have
have a
banana.
banana.
I would have gotten banana back last session, hopefully.
Right,
If-
that's what I'm thinking too.
If we get to the actual story tonight, we'll put bananas back in play, but during the downtime, there's no point in spending bananas.
Okay.
I don't know, man. What if I want Cube to disappear from our ship?
God damn it!
Then
No
you-
more bananas for Nodal.
Yeah.
I would never do anything as cool
So
as make Cube vanish.
So the list I'm looking at on the party loot, that he'll at some point you'll tell us he can start making this stuff for us.
He can do it now. He'll be able to do it by the end of this downtime. By the time we start
Alright.
adventuring again, he'll have what he needs to do.
I'll be throwing gold at him so he can make me some potions then.
Okay.
But I'll figure that out off to the side.
So everybody who travels out there, like I said, it's very cool to temperate climate. You have nice fertile soil. You have lots of woodland. You have streams, small lakes. It's good land, but very thickly populated with orcs in this territory, goblins, kobolds.
Eldove pushes up his sleeves, says, "Let's get to work."
Now, what do you all want to build? Like, are we thinking, like, going to build a keep or a small castle on this land? Upfront cost of construction, hiring a garrison of soldiers, just getting the building in place and defensible, 100,000 gold.
How close are we to
Sounds
that?
about right.
I don't think we have that much money.
No, you don't have
I
nearly
think
that
we
much.
do.
You're not starting by building the keep, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You're going to
we got-
start
yeah.
smaller.
Yeah, no.
So
We got
What about to
5,000
build, like-
in the ship's hold.
What about like a wooden fence and some farmhouses?
So with like wooden walls and like a small settlement, Like, one thing you could do is, to just putting an idea out there to give your place a name, like, there are roads that go from Karatarel to Dunfoss, but they are not well traveled. Like, you could establish yourself starting out as like an inn on that road, a defensible, safe place with walls or whatever. So that would be...
Alright, let's back up a second, though.
Mm-hmm.
How much more would it cost for stone walls rather than wood? Because wood walls are very flammable.
Orcs don't typically fight with fire, though. Wood walls would be a
Eldove.
cost-effective way.
Fights with fire.
I would suggest maybe building an inn and also a trading post.
Yeah,
Or
that's
a
what I was
trading
thinking.
company.
To build a
That's more
an
Eldove,
inn, you're way out in the sticks. You're right in the rural area. 10,000 gold to get it
God damn it.
constructed.
A lot of gold, too.
I'm basing this cost on the maintenance costs from the DMG.
Sure.
Hey, Brick, I have a question. Where did Fred go? Is Fred staying with the construction group, or is he on the ship with us?
Fred wants to go back on the ship. He wants to go adventuring, but he'll go wherever he's ordered.
All right.
He thinks you guys building a place and setting down roots is a big mistake, but...
All right,
You
well,
said
he's
there
with
was-
Orphan then, because Orphan agrees.
You said there was sufficient stone for a quarry, though.
Yeah, but
So
you're going to need
how
to hire
much
people
would it cost to get that started?
To build what?
Well, that's what I'm
get
saying.
your-
Like, if we wanted to build with stone instead of wood.
The resources you have there, this is just the cost of getting a construction crew out, is getting all the manpower together. None of you know how to build a place like this.
So how about this? How about the group comes together and says how much money we have, and we ask you, like a used car salesman, what we can get for it.
So how much money are you willing to spend up front just to get the building on the ground? Well, how much money do you all have altogether? Let's start there.
All right.
What's
I've been a chump of giving all my gold away. Like churches and shit.
Hey, man, if we start up a church, you can start giving us your gold.
That's true. Could do that.
Tarin can spare about 3,000 gold.
Platinum goes into gold by a factor of 10,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Zook would probably be willing to part with, I mean, because he's kind of down with this idea. He's carrying around about 4,000 gold worth of platinum.
Okay.
I think he'd be willing to part with most of that so long as he could still keep adventuring.
Okay.
Khalil
sounds
has 700 gold to his name, and that's based on what he gets paid from you guys, and he still has to replace his armor.
We're not looking to Khalil with this to put
Actually,
his hand out. Don't worry.
Khalil,
Yeah.
go ahead and take 1,500 out of the ship's stores if you want to get plate mail.
Okay. In that case, Khalil would probably at some point, either go to Karatarel or Dunfoss to see about getting some.
Not Kiska, huh? That's surprising. Okay.
You would go to Kiska.
Or that, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Since we got the time, hell's yeah. Kiska.
Well, because Keyskin Smiths are better than any other Smiths, right?
Damn right.
But it's also going to be in the style. It'll be in the Keyskin style, which fits.
Yeah, you can get whatever you want. I mean, you could have the dwarf commission it if you want. So
Fine, buck up on the mountain.
how much money are we up to get the construction going?
Well, Eldove never sold that wine. How much would that? How long would that take?
Yes. What was the price that I quoted you on that?
You didn't. You.
How much
would
did you
not.
spend on it?
A
That's
lot.
right, because I told you how much you decided. I told you how much it was going to cost you, and then it was going to be up to you to think of how much you wanted to try to sell it for at market in
Yeah.
Dunfoss.
I seem to remember. Shit, I don't remember. How much do I have?
You should have recorded on your sheet. I don't know what to tell you.
It wasn't in my personal goods.
No, but it was your responsibility. This was your. I see the coin of the Witch King on your sheet.
That's in
fair.
my personal loot.
Right.
Coin of the Witch King. Isn't that the one that gives us infinite
Yep.
slush money?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's just a gold coin at a time, and it can go poof if it thinks it's being misused.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
You want to press these?
Yeah, because I don't remember. That's.
I'm pretty much done with the ones I like.
You know what? We have recordings of it all. So
Well, go ahead and go back and watch the recording and get back to
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's all on YouTube. I don't remember what session it was, but good luck.
Alright.
It must have been the first Garriton session.
Yeah, it was the first Garriton session.
It was before Garriton went to shit.
To construct a decent-sized rural inn is about 10,000. It would be about 10,000 to also construct like a trading post.
So we've got 7,000 between Zook and Tarin.
How much do we have left in the ship?
We have 5,000, but 1,500 of that is I'm putting on Khalil's armor, and the rest I'd prefer to save if we ever need any big repairs.
Okay, so nothing disposable on the ship.
I mean, that's why I pulled
I
money
have
for, like, pearls and stuff
737
from.
gold pieces.
If you guys wanted to start here, to just establish a farm, we're looking at 5,000 silver to establish a farm in the area.
So 500 gold.
And that's not going to pull in. That's not going to pull in much, though, is it?
No, but that will
Depends
bring
on what you grow and what you do with the resources you have.
And what's a good cash crop?
Let's find out what because I mean this is more Eldoves I think than anyone else here, so I think we should find out what Eldove can put in first.
Right? It depends on the wine, and also I don't know what YouTube channel it is. 'Cause it's not on your standard one, is it?
No, there's a link down below the Twitch video though.
Yeah.
That goes to the Flumph channel.
You're gonna need to rename the channel. We don't have a Flumph anymore.
I'm not renaming the campaign though.
Campaign
still
is
salute the Flumph.
Okay. This will always be the Flumph campaign.
Alright, so Khalil now has an AC of 20.
Nice.
Nice. So
Yep.
you go stand next to things and stab at them, and I'll shoot them with my bow, and
Wait.
we'll be happy.
Don't stand next to acid things.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Because we're not buying you any more plate mail.
Unless you can go get that magicified. That would be fun.
That would be fun,
I
but
don't think you have enough money for that.
Yeah.
Not to do that and to establish it.
Certainly not if we're investing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rick,
What?
from the money that we get, I gave 7 to each of the 20 sailors, 9 to each of the 4 marines, and to Arvin, because I think that's the quartermaster / marine share.
Well, you've got to go through Tarin with that. I'm not keeping track of any of the loot distribution.
The only reason I'm telling you this is because I'm giving Balin the captain's share.
Okay.
Orphan's not keeping any of this for herself.
Okay.
Because, like, Orphan wants Balin to know that, like, even though she's making the decisions on where to go, she considers Balin she's deferring to his authority as to how a ship is run, and thinks that he should get that share for it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Bill,
And
can you still
Balin
not find the YouTube?
is happy
Yeah,
with that.
I don't think it's linked.
I got
Yeah,
it.
it
Hold
is.
on.
It's linked.
Hold on, here it
It's
is.
on the page, but I can find it.
Yeah,
Where is it?
it's under D&D campaign.
I just linked it in the
If you
Twitch
can't make
chat.
it on Sunday, subscribe to the Flumph
Okay,
YouTube
because I
channel.
went to YouTube and it wasn't there.
All right, I'm gonna take out the 1,500 for the plate mail on this party loot then.
Okay. I'm going to say that... Let's see here. For 1,500 gold, you could build stone walls around however many farm plots you want to build in this area. Like, to get some cash flow going, that would be how you would start.
Okay. And what would you say would grow in this slightly cold area? Are we talking like potatoes?
Potatoes not a great cash crop.
No, I know.
Eldove would probably know. Like, Eldove's,
Yeah.
if I had to guess, his suggestion would be grapes.
You know who
that's right.
Oh, Eldove's suggestion is absolutely grapes.
Isn't that a long process though?
It is.
Making wine.
Well, we can sell the grapes to start.
Now it sounds like we're starting like Napa Valley.
Yeah.
I am all about this. Let's make a winery. Duke wants to retire to a winery.
We can start out by selling the grapes. We don't have to sell the wine to start.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you set that age next year, just keep selling grapes.
Each, upkeep on each farm is only 5 silver pieces per day. That includes hiring 3 people to work the farm plot. A skilled farmer, plus a couple of just farm hands.
Didn't we have a farmer? Whatever happened to that guy?
Wow, yeah.
Eldove doesn't remember.
That's just too bad. He got hit with a bunch of arrows, and then...
Hey, you know what we can do? I know of this terrible, horrible slave village where slaves
my
just
God.
waiting to be liberated. how about we go get them?
Let's go get some slaves. I mean, liberated farmers.
And then, but we pay them. We pay them to work on our farm.
Tarin's completely okay with that.
So we need to build the wall so they'll be safe when we get there, and then we go get ourselves some farmers.
Yeah,
I love this idea.
this is a great idea.
So is that
This suddenly not become the session you were planning, Frick?
are we building the walls first? Is that a done deal?
I think we need to build. I think you guys need to build the walls. What if you got? Okay, so you guys want to build the walls while Zook and Orphan go to Kiska and buy whatever supplies you think you'll need, and Zook can take care of his business.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well,
That sounds like a plan.
Eldove is still looking up how much wine he owns. So let's go ahead and go
Eldove
do.
found the place, so I might mute you guys for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Let's
can
deal.
listen to
Let's,
this.
let's deal with Zook's business then. What is Zook's business in Kiska?
Zook's business is, I mean, and I don't know how complicated you're going to make this, but Zook's business is merely he wants to check in with the Guild of Shadows because he hasn't in a while, and he's going to ask them if they have any use of this +3 cursed dagger that he is carrying around. If he can get, if they want to sell it and get and maybe give them some money, or if there's some use that they can make of it. He's going to basically offer it to them, like, hey, I got this thing, I can't use it.
Who do you offer it to, specifically?
He goes straight to the boss. To
I
what's
don't
his nut?
Remember his name?
I don't either.
Oh my
Sandel.
god.
Yeah,
The
he's
Sandoff gut, dude.
very, very old session. I have all the notes here. I'll find it. See, I've got you done pissed off the giants.texts.
I remember. I think it sounded something like maybe a Suikoden character, but I can't remember.
Everything sounds like a Suikoden character. So many Suikoden characters. But anyway, yeah, you talk to him. He asked to see the wound.
Do I have a scar from the wound?
You absolutely do.
Okay, I proudly show him the scar from the wound.
And he nods, almost impressed, and he asks how you lifted the curse.
I got one of the monks to unbind.
No,
you
you
from the
didn't.
deck. What? No.
No,
Oh
you
no,
didn't.
you did it. You did.
Yeah.
Oh no!
No, that's right. I forgot that you could do that.
Eric's so unappreciated.
No, Eric.
Never play a priest, guys. This is
No,
why.
This is McClain. This is not Zook. So Zook is more than happy to say that his companion priest relieved him of the curse, so he is no longer attuned to this dagger.
He asks what
And
you
he
want
explains
for
the
it.
mechanics of how it works. He's not really looking for anything specific. It's more, this is a treasure he found along the way that is, he could potentially sell it, but he thought it might be of use to the guild. If you wanted to give him, exchange it for something, or just, have it. Zook's not really that greedy about it.
Well, when you say exchange, he asks, what are you looking to get in exchange? Golds? Magic items? Favors?
What does Zook of the Forest want?
Oh, good lord, this guy again.
Yeah, this is him.
Let's see. It was so much fun last time you get. Oh, you know what? Zook actually knows because he is. He's working on a project right now that has kind of a high overhead. So either if he was willing to purchase it, money would be great, or directions to treasure. Another scroll would be fun.
Because that really worked out great for him last time.
Yeah, and Zook kind of says to treasure. Oh, and Zook would actually tell him too, like, hey, I finally used my crazy chain things, and it was wicked awesome.
So you're giving him the +3 cursed dagger, and in return you want another lead on some treasure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's call it that.
And he takes it gladly. And he tells you he'll call on you in the next couple of days.
Okay. And I'll tell him I'll be in Kiska. I'll probably be staying on the ship, so he can send word there if he wants, or I can come back.
And a few days pass before one of his contacts comes by, and he hands you 2 items. The first is a map to an area very, very deep in Ramneus. A couple of weeks' journey, at least. A very difficult journey out that far. The other item is a small piece of stone that you're told is a keystone that will open the door to this crypt. And the only reason nobody has plundered this particular crypt deep in Ramneus is because of its remote location.
Alright, I'm back.
Because of how
I'm sorry.
Because of how difficult it would be to reach.
Okay.
And it says the treasure there is yours if you can take it.
Okay, and I thank him. Am I speaking to a messenger or directly to what's his name?
Well, he would have told
Speaking
you
to the
that before. I mean, you know from experience how this can get you into trouble.
Well, okay, and Zook says, thank you very much, and he will look into it and let him know what happens.
So what does Zook do with it? That's new information.
And right now we're saying it's just me and Orphan, because those other guys are off doing their thing.
As far as I know, it's just you. Orphan's going to be on the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it's on the ship. So Zook would go to Orphan and say, "Hey, what do you think about raiding a crypt? Might be helpful for our slush fund."
She nods and says, "I'd be interested to see whatever you've got going."
Okay. Cool. So we'll put that on the docket for something to do at some point.
Well, at what point? Like, are we going to wait until we're back adventuring to go out there, or is this something that Zook's going to investigate during his downtime?
This is, you know what? I think I would actually want to send word to Tarin, because it sounds like what we want to do. The order of events is build a wall, maybe go acquire some farmers from Douchebag Village, and then separate again. So I wouldn't want to run off right away. I want to talk to Tarin about it, whether or not he'd want to do this.
Hey, what does Tarin say about it? Do we have Tarin?
Destil?
It's on mute.
Oh.
Because this is something we could just do on our own while you guys are working on the land too.
Tarin is all about raiding ancient tombs. Anything dangerous or scary or insane is pretty much up his alley. Do we have a name for this plot of land? Because it's very difficult to put in the notes as plot of land. And
Orange Castle. We're naming it Orange Castle.
Is that unanimous? I mean,
No.
If we're naming
no.
it Color Castle, it's going to be Gold Castle.
I thought it was Eureka's
It's not
castle.
even a castle.
I like Hero and Joey Castle.
It's an inn, isn't it? At this point,
It's not even an inn. It's
Well, we have
several
to-
plots of
it's-
farms
I'm
with
just saying
walls
the
around
White
them.
Deer
Name,
Inn
like-
for sleeping into.
We could name the inn the Golden Castle.
Nodal, did you find out how much wine you have
Yeah, I did.
and how much you spent on it?
216 gold pieces for 200 bottles of wine.
For 200 bottles of wine, how much are you going to try to charge for each bottle of wine?
I think I'm going to take your original suggestion
Which one?
of 2 gold pieces.
2 gold pieces each?
Yeah.
Then the wine sells fairly quickly. I think we talked about it that you were going to market it as kind of a curiosity more than anything, because it's not the highest quality wine in the world, but you sell it to a connoisseur market and you very easily make back your 400 golden profit.
Alright, and then if I ask around and I see who would be more interested in it for a cheaper price more regularly, do I find out anything?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably keep up a shipment like that at least every month if you could get it to work. If you could cover the travel costs.
Because I was listening to, so yeah, how much would it cost to get a ship to deliver it for me?
Not
'Cause
much.
I'm not going to make Orphan do it.
Let's call it
Orphan wouldn't do it.
2 gold pieces per shipment. I mean, you're just asking to stash a crate on the ship for a pretty short sailing. Like, it's not going to be that difficult. We were originally planning to stash it on the Flumph, but that was then.
Alright, so yeah, that's what I can contribute to this adventure.
Okay.
so how much
Whatever
money
that
do you
works
have?
out to
We had
be.
7,000. How much do you actually have that you can contribute?
Actually have that I can
Yeah.
contribute? I can contribute 1,500 gold at this moment.
We'd have 85.
But
With
I need to keep back some of what I have so that I can set up this shipment. So how much is that a month that's going to make us?
If you're turning 400 a month with 1 shipment and it costs 2 gold, well, it depends on what the price you negotiate from the guy. We'll say you can keep getting it for 216. So 400 minus 216 is... Whoops. I pushed the wrong button. 184 gold. Minus the 2 to pay for the shipping cost. 182 gold per month.
Alright, so Eldove's going to take some of that. He's going to take... He's interested in getting this place set up, so he's only going to take 20 of that a month. So
Okay.
162 is getting funneled directly into our coffers.
Okay.
So we can use that to pay all our upkeep, at least.
Yeah,
And then
so you
some.
can mark that down. I'm not going to keep track of that turn.
Does the upkeep include protection?
No.
We're
So,
the protection.
That's
We need
okay.
Yeah.
protection.
At least at first, you all are the protection.
Yeah.
And I mean, you
Yeah,
guys,
but
as you're staying
But as
out
soon as-
there,
yeah.
you guys are fending off orc raiders and goblins, and you're making it known that this is your land, you know?
Yeah.
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 So
But
there will
if
be
we-
some percentile dice coming.
But
I'm
if we're
sure.
going off raiding a crypt, which, by the way, I think Eric might have an issue or two with, depending on the scenario, we need to make sure that our progress here isn't lost.
It is the crypt of
Yeah.
one of the ancient and forgotten witch kings.
Alright,
Oh,
he
if
sounds
you-
evil. It's alright.
You guys need to wait for Eldove if we're raiding Witch King crypts.
Right. My thought was My thought was if people were interested, this may help with our slush fund. So maybe we do this before dumping a bunch of farmers out there and then abandoning them. Like maybe we do this, then go over to
Kiska.
Airdoc's village and grab their shit, and then go back and set up a place.
Just grab their...
Grab
You know,
when
they're
did you
people,
find
know.
out about this?
When did I find out about this? I found out about this. We went off to Kiska. Me and Orphan went off to Kiska together, and I believe the plan was you guys were going to start the process of building walls.
Yeah.
Okay. Eldove has a... well, I have something. When we start building, we need to make at least one good, solid stone floor that I can start inscribing the circle on.
Yeah, I was thinking we should build a tower, a watchtower.
Something that
watchtower?
I can start this on.
Yeah, and you can put the teleportation circle on the bottom, and we can have... Because I want a place I can basically, A, easily ping when I do my plane shift, and B, a place to study, because I figure Tarin will be spending a fair amount of time here since he's the most mobile member of the group.
And
Okay.
and I mean, is it safe to assume? Because I said we would send word to Tarin. I mean, was it safe to assume that you would be like sending us a message once every couple days, just to
Yeah,
kinda see
I
him?
think as a matter of protocol, if somebody is out on a mission, I'll contact them with Dream once a week.
Right, so that's when Zook would have, Zook would have let Tarin know, hey, I got a lead on some possible treasure. If we want to go raid this crypt, yada yada yada.
Yeah, I'm just working out the logistics. Like, once that floor is down, Eldove's going to start casting the spell, and then once he starts casting the spell, he can't leave for a year. So,
Oh, wow.
if it happens
So-
before
So
that,
let's,
maybe
well,
we can go raid
so here's
this
what we
too.
want, Brick. We want to start with the watchtower and then as much of a protective wall. I mean, why don't we start with some farms and just use a palisade at first?
Okay.
Does that work?
Establishing a farm is, what did
So
I
we've
say?
got, again, we've
500?
got how much, can you put in 1,000, Eldove?
I'm sorry?
Does that leave you, if you put in 1,000, does that leave you with enough left for operating costs or whatever?
Oh, the 1,500 was after saving some for myself for operating
Okay,
costs.
so we have 8,500 we can put in towards the watchtower and however many farms in the palisade.
For 8,500, you can start building, well, you're going to establish one farm to start?
Sure.
Okay. So with the remaining 8,000, you can build a fortification, small. It would be cramped for the lot of you staying there, not counting the people who are going to be working your farm. They'll have their own little farmhouse. But this gets you a stone tower with a cellar area where Eldove can lay down his teleportation circle.
Sweet.
But like I said, it's small. For a tower the size of the one that the wizard had, you're looking about 25,000 gold. So for
Oh, no.
8,000, you're getting a much smaller tower.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
like I said, it's just gonna be a watchtower when we get the place
But
up and
it's
running.
something that is defensible for the level of orcs and such that you've seen in the area. It's something you can defend. People of your skill level and your resources will have no problem defending it as long as you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's...
The
next I want to
tower
handle...
should be what we build around, though, because eventually we're going to want that to be part of the keep. Because we're
Right.
not going to want people teleporting in and being a million years away from the castle.
Next I want to deal with the crypt. Let's get that resolved. Zook, what is your plan for this crypt? Wait till the year is out?
Wait until the year is, and well, that's my question. Do we want to try to get this for our startup costs, or do we want to have this in our back pocket for when we start wanting to expand this thing?
I think it'd be good to have it in our pocket.
In our back
that.
pocket?
That's why I gave it to you, so
Yeah.
you'd have some cash flow going.
As long as you guys bring back any interesting artifacts. Well, actually, you should bring back everything anyway, because I'm the most qualified person to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zook is down for doing this at any time. He doesn't want to do it by himself though. So whether it's just me and Orphan doing our thing or what have you.
Orphan's only going to be in Kiska for a few days.
Yeah, Orphan's trying to. Tarin's.
Before she sets out again.
Yeah,
Right,
Tarin's. No.
As soon as Zook got this thing, he would have gotten back on the ship, told Orphan about it, and then tried to communicate with Tarin about it.
Tarin's all about raiding ancient tombs.
So, my question is, so we want to go ahead and do this now? Before we start the farm. What I'm hearing.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay. I'm completely down with that.
And the travel is very expensive. I mean, you have to hire on people to help guide you through the desert. Buying water and supplies for travel that deep in the desert. At first, you have difficulty finding people who will help you with it because that's a suicidal trip. But you remain adamant about it, and you have some resources in Kiska. Who all is going? Zook, Tarin?
Invite Fred.
If Fred wants to go. Fred is in.
Fred's in.
Orphan will be there if it's within those first few days.
I mean, it's going to take a lot longer than a few days to get there and back.
Oh, that's true.
It's going to be probably a 2-week trek in the desert just to get out there.
Yeah,
Orphan's going on the boat. Orphan's got out.
Yeah, she's out.
Okay. So it's just Zook and Tarin?
Sounds like it. I'm surprised Khalil doesn't want to go.
Khalil, do you want to go?
I thought. Is this during the year downtime? Oh,
yeah, this is downtime.
Yeah, I mean, Khalil could stand to go too. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're in Kiska getting your armor anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and real quick, did you already take my $4,000 and put it on the party loot for the funds?
Yeah, I added the amount we're spent on the farm is now notated on the party loot, and I
just want to make sure I remove those 400 platinum pieces from my footlocker.
Yep.
And then how much is this excursion going to take?
Up front. I'm gonna zero it out. So travel out to the desert. The three of you, plus a couple of hirelings who are helping to guide you and carrying all the supplies alone. You have to hire a couple of camels to come along with you. And you find the place on the map, and there's nothing out there. It's just bare desert. And you search the area very thoroughly before you find a small stone spire, barely noticeable, poking out of the sand. And you set to work excavating it, and it's a couple of days' work before you find...
I've got a better plan.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Clairvoyance to create a scrying sensor inside of it.
Inside where?
Inside the tower.
No, it's not a tower. It's a little bit of stone poking up out of the sand.
20 feet below where the stone starts and back. Like, if I have a direction, I'm just going to put a scrying sensor inside it, basically.
Okay. Well, you don't even have an entrance yet, is what I'm saying.
Right, I don't need an entrance. I can just say the distance and direction.
Okay. And it's just darkness.
I have 120 feet of dark vision.
And you're surrounded by stand. I'm not going to let you get out of excavating the entrance to this.
Okay.
After a couple days' work, you excavate the entrance to the dungeon. I'm trying to add some flavor to the world. At the beginning of the session, did I not say, before I turned the stream on, that Destil's a rules lord and I always wanted to stab him in the eye?
That's an awesome use of the rules.
No, I mean, it's like stabbing him in the eye. You totally did. You took away his dark vision there.
This is the shit that doesn't even matter. I'm just setting a stage, and Justin's like, you know what this stage needs?
That's what makes it matter the most. When it doesn't matter at all, it's awesome.
It matters the most. So, like, on the preposterous scale.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to know how Eldove lives his life, like, he would have been coming up with some dumbass way to get in there, and he is very happy.
Once you get the entrance uncovered, it's easy to send your scrying eyeball in, and it's a huge trap and monster-filled complex. Very dangerous. You have a few harrowing escapes. You come out with a few more scars. And it turns out that Zook, your guild leader, was misinformed. This place has long since been looted. And you're super disappointed. And on your way out, in frustration, you kick a stone, and it just so happens that one stone opened up a door to a secret room that nobody had found before. And inside, you see riches unimaginable.
So that was the lucky roll.
Which you load up onto your camel, and you march it all back to Kiska. And at the end of the day, after the costs of hiring the camels and whatnot and paying them out, you come away with 9,000 gold. I mean, I took the price of the dagger that he sold and gave it an arbitrary multiplier, which I determined to be Zook's sense of adventure.
Mm-hmm. I missed the entire Ruins adventure. What happened?
I kicked a rock and we got 9,000 gold, is the long and short of it.
Also, I wasn't allowed to portal our way in there.
Which would have been awesome.
I mean, if this was an actual dungeon I had designed and Destil had tried that, I would have allowed it and then screwed him as soon as he went through the portal.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Obviously, I mean, what else are you gonna do? And I mean, if it's any consolation, once you got in the dungeon,
Destil dies during downtime.
Once you got in the dungeon, that gate spell was super useful for crossing a chasm where the bridge had collapsed. You know, there was a molten lake of fire, and you had to answer the Sphinx's riddle 3. And so
when you were attacked by the spectral mummy from behind, you were able to get away from it.
But more riddles.
No magic items, just straight up. You sell all the treasure to collectors and whatnot, and Kiska, you walk away with 9,000 gold.
Duke did that specifically for this project, so go ahead and put that on the slush fund, Tarin.
Do you mind if I take the 1,500 back for the improved armor on Khalil? Because that's really, I was putting it in there as a loan until he paid for his share, basically.
Yeah, that's fine, because he came with us on that adventure. So
wait, you're making this decision for Khalil? Why don't you let Khalil answer that?
Khalil,
wait, because Tarin's the one who pays him. Tarin says you don't get paid for this adventure.
Oh.
What's Khalil gonna do?
Sorry, Khalil was in the bathroom.
Oh.
I was asking if anyone minds if I take the 1,500 I spent on your armor out of the 9,000 we just earned and put it back in the ship's loot.
Sounds legit.
Okay. Orphan.
Rickard, I'm going ahead and doing some potion work off to the side where I'm adding potions to my thing and taking the gold out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah, I bought armor too, obviously.
Oh, shit. Orphan.
Yes.
You go back to privateering. Now, do you stick to the same confines, the same kind of things Balin was doing? Balin was sailing up and down the coast of Dunfoss, basically. Bringing pirates to justice. Do you stick to doing that, or...?
No. We're gonna go further up the coastline.
Okay.
Kind of where my arrow is pointing, and we're gonna visit some of these isles. Like not exactly the Isles of Brax, but we're gonna go exploring a little bit too, because Orphan wants to see things.
Okay.
While she's privateering.
Do you take any pirate ships outside of the Letter of Marque?
Well, I'm not. Do you do any privateering, or do you just go straight exploring?
She definitely does some privateering because she needs to keep the men.
304 gold after the ship maintenance costs.
Okay.
In the first couple months of privateering, where do you go exploring? Like, where in the world? Well, you know, let me rephrase the question. Because this is a world-building exercise, and I do want the players to be involved in it. Like, what does she find? I'll ask that. And where does she find it?
So, she sticks to Tetluteus and like kind of this area of the sea.
Okay, the north coast up here.
Yeah, the north coast. She doesn't go too far inland, so she won't go like anywhere past here.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll see what kinds of cities and settlements she can find along the coast here.
Very populated along this northern coast. Very, very populated. Lots of fishing villages, lots of large cities about the size of Dunfoss. I mean, this is all the kingdoms of Tetluteus are up in the northern reaches.
Okay. And in addition to that, she pays visits to 3 or 4 islands that they hadn't been to on their trip from Kiska to Keratin.
Oh, so you mean Isles of Brax? Or are you just looking for like uncharted islands that nobody's been to before?
She has not been to before.
Okay.
Because she's not out to like find new things, she's out to see the world.
That's my question. Is her destination the Isles of Brax, or is she looking for islands that are not on this map visible?
They're not visible on that map.
Okay. With the help of... what was the navigator's name? Ryler. With Ryler's help, you managed to find a few uncharted islands. And at first, I mean, the men are very... roll me some percentile dice, actually.
Okay.
Let's have a roll on this.
Yeah, here's a couple D10s for you. There's a pink one, And then where's my yellow one?
I was going to see if that one went off the table. McDohl's
There's a yellow
first
one.
dice roll of the session. Which one is tens?
There's some percentiles for you.
McDohl first dice roll ever that didn't go off the table.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that percentile roll. Pink is tens,
Oh.
gold is units.
Okay. Let's see here.
They're sitting over here in the desert.
Okay, gotcha.
In the
It's 10
desert.
gold units.
Oh
So
man,
that's a 26.
Okay. And I mean, Ryler and Balin and other people on the ship like advise against it. It's like these are uncharted islands. These are tiny. We'll find a bare patch of sand, and that's about it.
Mhm.
But what you managed to find is the burned out ruins of a village. You're in the ocean somewhere in this area.
Okay.
And you have to travel onto this island into a jungle area. You find the burned out remains of this village, and as far as signs of who built it, it's impossible to say or how long ago it was destroyed.